What's going on, traders? How we doing? Let's go ahead. Let's get right to the market and see what we can come up with today. It looks like we got a little bit of a bounce back, but something tells me that we could be closing closer towards below 368 than above 368s on the Qs. We're at 368.50s. Let's see if we get some downside action towards the end of the bell as we get a little bit of pullback action. But the generals are staying tight. And that's exactly what my title says right there. The leaders creating the shield wall. Let's take a look at what's going on in the market. Let's see. Right now, you guys can see the Qs right here, just kind of fighting this action here. It got above it, but I could see it going right back down below. Best trade for me had to be in Roku today, but this is actually coming back right now, and it looks great for a swing trade right now to the short side. And actually, I'm kind of leaning heavily towards that action. What do you guys think? We get into some live swing trading action, go towards some of these stocks. I haven't been taking too many swings as of late. It just hasn't been working well, and maybe to the upside was pretty good in the recent kind of action. But I'm willing to take a little bit of a shot here and risk like, $2-3 here to see what happens on Roku, because it could do a crazy move overnight. You know what? Let's take the shot here. I'm taking a starter on right now. We'll see what happens. I got 83.40s right now. So not the best fill there. It's already at 83.41, but let's take a look here. Going to go for Roku to the downside back towards 82s and 80s is really where I see the first move. The overnight action could get us back down into this spot, back down below the 80s. That's what I'm going to be watching. Of course, 50% move as of recent for Goku. And of course, if we go back up towards, like, let's say this 85, 88 level, that can be our out. We'll see what happens with this. And this is, of course, a little bit of a riskier trade, but this stock has made a huge move, and I'm expect a turnaround here. All right, let's get to the action. Let's go to the SPY. The SPY got up there and didn't really make a new high today, but has been pulling back. We'll see what happens. It didn't do a little bit of an attempt to this 436, but of course, you see on Friday, 436.29. So could be some topping action starting to show up already in the SPY. And I talked about how this resistance here could play as resistance around the 437s, and it's already using that right now. Now the only question is, will we get a pullback, and how far down do we get a pullback? Well, let's take a look at the leaders, the shield wall, as I called it, because look at Apple today, up 1.43%. And then when you take a look at some of the other big dogs, of course, you see Google or Google up there, up 0.8%, 88%. And you can see it also in Goog, up 94%, and getting the bounce after the recent quick move to the 200 exponential moving average, bounced off of that, and now starting to fill the gap on the upside. So we'll see what happens with Google. And if it can continue to push. Microsoft continuing to push. Of course, we talked about how would this be the one that would lead the rally back, and you're seeing that just now. And there was some new mentions today, of course, from OpenAI. It looks like Turbo GPT-4. So it looks like the investment, of course, going well there for Microsoft, giving them a little bit of a lift today. I thought that kept them up a little bit higher. Of course, all those AI mentions. Microsoft still hanging in here, 355. Not a bad day for Microsoft, even though some stocks really struggled today. Amazon also having a decent day. Was up higher a little bit earlier, and Nvidia not breaking down and staying above the 450s. So this is definitely something to watch, as I think that you're eventually going to get some kind of pullback on Nvidia, maybe back down towards the 420 area is what I see. I don't see this one getting the 470s before the earnings, but hey, who knows? I could be wrong here. We'll find out on Nvidia. Will the street be right? Of course. Will Wall Street analysts be right? Will this be up at 500, 550, 600 by the end of the year? Or will they have it all wrong, and this is back down below 400, going towards the 370s or maybe even 310? We'll find out, of course, right here on Benzinga. You guys can keep up with it. Pro.benzinga.com. Let's take a look at what stocks you guys are taking a look at. If you guys have anything that caught your radar, throw it up in the chat. Let's go to the top names in the S&P 500 today, as Eli Lilly getting a nice little move back here to 600 and setting up for a little bit of a head and shoulders here. So we'll see if it can get above 600. If not, it could make a move back down to 550. Booking back up there to 3,000s as last week it actually went down on the earnings reports of Expedia, which was an opportunity there to get it on the cheap. As you guys see, Booking getting the up move. We'll see if those can continue flying high. But there was other news in the space too, right? You guys saw it. Hilton, not necessarily Hilton, but lodging, definitely getting a little bit of a move as we saw different names being mentioned there. So we got movement in kind of a buyout in this space. So it wasn't a bad buyout at all, but you got to keep your eyes on to see what happens in this space. It's not necessarily an area where I see a lot of acquisitions happening. And Airbnb going sideways after their report, this could take another leg down. I don't feel too confident about Airbnb, but maybe the airlines have finally kind of caught their bid. As you see them pull back today, it doesn't look too strong. As you guys see it, there was only one industry that was actually up from the open, and that was defensives, and that was just slightly up. It's only up 0.2. Essentially, today was a pullback day, but not a really weak one. And I think that that's something definitely to know as you are continuing to get the bulls out of their caves, and they're definitely out there ramping on the bears, and the bears are out there trying to go hiding because right now it doesn't look like this market's going to turn around anytime soon. And of course, the biggest thing that can turn that around would be what? Well, Nvidia's report, but we're got a long time until we get to Nvidia's report. So something to keep an eye out for. All right, let's keep a look to what you guys are saying. Airlines look weak. Yes, it does look weak. How did my LIFW trade work out? And I stopped out break even and then eventually lost a good amount as this went up there to 16 and 17s. But hey, that's how it goes when you're shorting a rocket. Believe it or not, Roku was the best one. I probably should have just stuck with that one. This LIFW came back down. And I got stopped out just as this one was just about to turn around, getting stopped out around like the 1650s when this was starting to go back there to 17s. It wasn't the best one, but hey, it was definitely shorting a rocket. So when you short a rocket, you got to be careful. And that one definitely was a rocket. And you got to be careful with these low float names, especially when they're jumping up like they were. And this one was jumping easily 20, 30, 40 cents. All right, let's keep going. Paycom, let's take a look at that. Payc, right? Let's take Payc. I don't know why I hit PayX. Payc coming back here and starting to get back there to 160. Will this one start making its way back? Honestly, I wouldn't touch this one with a 10-foot pole, man. The key is it can come back. But when a stock gaps down this much, what does it have? It has a lot of overhead supply, right? Everybody that bought in this space is caught. And so everybody all the way back until pretty much 2019 is in the red if you invested in this name. What does that mean? That when the stock goes back to the unrealized green for a lot of those investors, what are they going to probably do? Well, they're going to hit that out button. They're going to say, I want my money and I want out. So that's the hard part of Payc coming back here. If anything, I'd be looking for the short side. But the problem here, the stock's too extended on the downside. So it could bounce back, maybe eventually getting to 200, maybe up towards its 9 EMA, not 196, and then taking the hit down. So you could maybe rent it to the upside and then short it for the long run. I do see why this could go up, but I also see that it could just go sideways here and not much opportunity there and not much edge really in this chart. I just don't see exactly where it's going, and I can only see that it has overhead supply. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going out there. Team Nvidia reports Thanksgiving break a week. Yeah, that's not going to be the best week to report, right? Nvidia, it's already going to be slower trading. So what will we be watching? Exactly that report when that comes out. Of course, Nvidia expected to come out on the 21st. So that's going to be a date that I definitely can't miss. I was looking at maybe taking off the 20th, but 21st, no. That's going to be Nvidia's day, and I have to be here to see the action there. And that's right before Thanksgiving, right? I mean, they're going to report after the close on 21. So essentially, you would only have the 22nd to get that going there. right? And that's the hard part. We also got PCE that will be coming in, and PCE comes in on November 30th. So right after that, we start getting into inflation worries. So we'll see what happens there. But this is going to be definitely fun to watch. We'll see what happens on Nvidia. And what do you guys think? Does it get to 500 or 400? Put bets out there in the chat. And this will be a little lunch bet out there. What do you guys think? All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is making a move. Team Cheek, what's going on? What are you watching? All right, let's keep looking at stocks that you guys want to take a look at. I see AI mentioned in the chat, C3 AI. Let's take a look at that one. It has pulled back a good amount here towards 27.05. Now will it get the lift, right? Well, now's your opportunity if you want to play the AI bounce. I just don't like this name at all. At least I was watching their presentation, their AI presentation when they had it, like, I think it was like 3 or 4 months ago. And when that happened, it just got me to the point where I realized I don't really see the advancements in C3 AI, but who knows? Maybe I could be wrong here. We'll see what happens if it can get back above into the 30 gap. There's a little gap here to fill that maybe it can fill to 31.42s. The low there being 30.90. So maybe 31 gets filled. That's kind of the area that I could see it kind of getting to. Other than that, I don't see this getting a little bit higher than that. Next layer from there would be the 34 resistance. We'll see if we get to that. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on. Marty saying that we're set up for a slow 2 weeks after this one. I think the market's trading ramp last week up to trading ramp up last week in November. And again, we'll see. Let's keep battling. Let's take a look at what else is making moves. How's Starbucks do today and continuing to get higher as XRT is now up there to 61.40, giving us an opportunity to maybe partake in this trade. As I saw Costco go higher, ANF go higher, BJ's looking like it wants to set up. KSS, man, I remember when this first started going through 20s. This has just continued on the uptrend. Has Macy's continued? Yeah, pretty much. Not a bad name there as it continues going higher. We'll see if these retail names can start taking a lift. I did see Elf Beauty finally bounce back a little bit after this stock has been completely destroyed as of late. What about Estee Slaughter? As they came up with horrible guidance last week, and they're starting to come back a little bit, but not a big move there, just a small move. We'll see what happens. In the XRT leading to the upside, let me see here. We got Warby Parker. We got Costco, BJ's, Carvana still staying green today. That's impressive there as that's staying green. We'll see if this can still hang on or will this eventually come crashing down. Something to keep an eye out for. What is Alto? Oh, not Alto. Ulta. I'm sorry if I said Alto. Ulta. ULTA, right? And that's the ticker right there. You guys see it. This is Beauties, and we'll see if it keeps going in the green. It is pulling back today, and I could see this kind of getting the lift into the 400s. This has pulled back significantly, but it's been red since pretty much where did we fall off there? In April? It's been a couple months of red, man. It's been 6 months of straight down kind of action. They got Ultas and Targets now. Yeah, they do. They also have Elf supplies also. So Target holds both of those. They have some Elf products. They have some Ulta products at Target. So I don't know how bullish that makes us feel, but we'll see what happens. Target pulling back today towards 111. All right, let's take a look at the sectors. Of course, technology kind of leading, but really it's not really leading. Whacked again, and this continues to be some downside action that I want to pay attention to. And of course, you guys can take a look at WTI to keep up with all the oil names. It's 3:55, so we got about 5 minutes left. And what do you see oil doing? Earlier this morning, it was up at 81s and even made a move to 82s. But where are we closing? Back down below 81. That's a concern for the oil bulls, as if oil cuts down through the 80s and gets into the 70s again, you can easily see more decline coming in to these energy names. And real estate, that was starting to get the bounce back in just about 3 days. It was the leading sector. Well, there you go. Declines again. All sectors in the red. That tells me we got to be careful here. That could have just been a short dead cat rally. And now you're starting to see some downside action come in. So I would be careful with these REITs. But then again, I don't talk too much REITs. I don't trade too many of them. And right now, they're not looking good. Last week, you had communication services taking a big leap. Verizon was part of that. That could easily start just coming right back down. AT&T, names like that. We'll see those just come crashing right back down. All right, let's take a look at Mara. Mara, you want to take a look at some pennies, the coin, of course, Bitcoin names and Coinbase as of late was trying to get this move above 10. I can tell you at least from right now, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So I would really need to hear some more kind of Bitcoin positive news for to really get this lifting. Maybe when you get the ETFs, so you finally start seeing those to take the lift. But right now, Mara's just going sideways. And that doesn't make me feel confident that it's going to make its way, let's say back to 20. Yeah, I don't think it makes it back to 20 anytime soon. But that's something definitely to keep an eye out for as it's trying to make a move and just can't get going here. All right, let's keep going. DLR still solid. Digital land reality REIT as AI demand grows. So does demand for cloud infrastructure. Yeah, it's not a bad one. I mean, I can't blame you for getting into certain REITs. There are some out there that won't be. They all won't be bad, but there's some really in here that could be really bad. All right, let's keep going. Lucas, I think there's something about Ripple this week may help BTC related stocks. Yeah, that could help. I mean, I think you first got to see the move though before we react. It's really of a sucky trade, and I've tried it before to try to front run those Bitcoin moves, and especially with the stocks themselves, unless you're playing Bitcoin itself, because those usually don't pan out. Let's just see it. Like even Riot, that was looking really great last week, pulls back today, and that's the hard part with these. There's no continuous trend to the upside. All right, let's keep going, team. What else is being mentioned in the chat? Boba can't believe after big dumps on booking, back up, huge, unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, that's just the way it is. That's the way the market is sometimes, man. And just when you think you have it right, well, the market will always humble you. And that's what the market is easily capable of. And you can see it here as the bears were getting, bearish, and I was one of them. And you can see it. The flip is on now. And what do you guys have it? The bears running away, the bulls just running with things. And even like AMD having a sideways day is not really a bearish day, right? It's just going sideways. We want to see if these stocks are going to pull back some. But we'll see if we can continue riding the momentum higher. And of course, momentum traders will be continuing to look at, kind of short time frame EMAs to see if those can hold and just continue the trend climbing higher. And of course, what does that give us the opportunity is to look for those buy the dip opportunities to see if you're going after it. So I did get after a little bit of Roku today, 83.40s. That's going to be the trade of the kind of the overnight action. I'm just going to stick to that one. Don't want to open myself up to too much here, as that could really kind of, just spit right back at me. It just hasn't been the move to kind of get short overnight, but I'll take a little bit here of Roku. We'll find out what happens tomorrow. Like always, catch me later tomorrow, of course, on PreMarket Prep. And then later today, I'm going to be on right now the Dales Report, doing the producing for, of course, it's a cannabis show. It also includes psychedelics and talks a little bit about some crypto action. So if you guys want to take a look at those kind of investments, stick around right here for the Dales Report. It's the Trade to Black podcast. I love it, guys. It's great personalities, great talk. And of course, if you're into the cannabis space, Web3 or into psychedelics, you might just want to take a look into this. They talk all about the investments out there. New moves in Cybin has been action that they definitely has been happening. There's a big vote in Ohio. They're going to talk a lot about different stocks there. I don't want to give away too much since I know what's going to be talked about, but I will see you guys over there. Don't go anywhere. That starts at 4:10. It's 4:01. We'll see you guys right there. Smash the like. And am I holding Roku as a put? No, Gemini. I'm glad I caught yours. I'm just going straight equity. The puts just, I don't do the option game, guys. It just doesn't help me out. But hey, to each his own. We'll find out if Roku comes down from here and starts to kind of pull back. I was looking at this out the gate, so it gave me the opportunity to get this just down about $1. We'll see if it gets right back towards the lows. I could see this maybe breaking down towards 80, about $3 down below. Let's see if it gets through there, and where do we find it tomorrow. I'll see you guys, like always, bright and early on Pre-Market Prep. Don't go anywhere, team, and keep pushing. We'll see what we come up with next time, guys. Hit the like button on the way out.